asking, and I know the if is a very trite if. You guys have been asking what happened to that. What happened to that game? You know, that game, the one with the two teams, Complexity and help me out, Manajuma. That's Tuesday. Tuesday is the game, the clash for the bronze medal, the clash for third place, and probably about $1,000 and change. Here's
Speaking of it, oh, sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
No, I wasn't going to say anything terribly important other than the fact that I was just announcing that the knife fight is about to begin.
Definitely. I was just saying that the difference between the prize pots for the first place team and the second place team in the game we're watching right now is, I think, something like $550. So that's a hefty chunk of change to be competing for, and it looks like Keyboard Kommandos is not wasting any time by winning their choice of side on Perfectionvore's choice of map. So that's super important, I think.
I don't think for a second that this is just some sort of lollygagged fight. This is $1,000 on the line right now. Everybody is thinking, yeah, we get the bragging rights of winning main, and yeah, we could possibly move into professional division, but man, I would love some cold hard cash.
And $1,000 is cold hard cash. That's 4 digits for an online tournament. That's not bad.
4 digits for an online tournament. You're amateurs of like, who does that? Yeah, that's awesome. So we look like we're about ready to go. We've gone live. The side selections for Perfectionvore is T side, and excuse me, they lost that knife, right? Didn't they?
Yes, they did. If I'm not mistaken, last time.
We have an AFK.
AFK again. Well, whatever. It gives us more time to chat up the game. I'm pretty sure, if I'm not mistaken, I casted Perfectionvore in their last game in the tournament against Righteous Dawn, and if I'm not mistaken, they did in fact lose the knife fight, just like they did here, and they went, I think, 13-2 on the first half from the T side, or it might have been 12-3, but either way, they had an awesome performance on the harder side of the map. So while this might look like an uphill battle for Perfectionvore, they're definitely prepared. They are not slouches on their T side of Nuke, and I wouldn't be surprised if we see them, win a pistol right off the bat and try to chain that into a bunch of rounds, unless Keyboard Kommandos has something to say about it with their USPs.
Yeah, let's learn a little bit about these teams. Actually, I don't know if I have enough time to go through the basics of these teams and what their characteristics are like, because it looks like we're about to go officially live. Welcome to CEVO TV tonight. It's the CEVO-Main Grand Finals. Perfectionvore needs one best of 3 to take this one all the way home. They are the perfect main team. They have yet to be defeated. Keyboard Kommandos needs a staggering 2 best of 3s, and that's going to be a tall order. And they're going to run right out of these doors. Perfectionvore does not give a rat's ass. They just ran right into so many bullets and threw away this pistol round, and Kinky's the last one alive in the mini. A recipient of a nice gift. No deaths at all for Keyboard Kommandos, and let me tell you how cool it is that they have no deaths, because they chose to buy armor that round. That saves them a lot of money.
Definitely, and some of the players who didn't take any damage that round can upgrade to a helmet for only $350. So that means rifles for players like AGM. Actually, most of the players. The only player without a rifle on that team is SWZ. So they're definitely making sure they're not going to get ecoed here. I mean, Perfectionvore is a super dangerous team pretty much no matter what they have in their hands, but if you have a rifle, you're definitely much more likely to take them down than, maybe a little like a dinky MP9 or an MP7.
Yeah, double nade stack for Outer, and a nice looking shot from Ruin. Body's down, and so is Kinky on the opposite side of the map. He was by the T-Red. Let's talk a little bit about Perfectionvore, because clearly you're not going to get the best sort of action early in a best of 3 series on an eco round. Perfectionvore, their offense is fairly vanilla. They'll just outplay you, outcom you, and outshoot you. They're gonna go with most likely a spread pick, an ISO pick, and maybe the roll off the pick, or maybe they'll sit on the pick and wait for you to move across. And I know a couple of you guys have been asking what these stratagems or terminologies actually mean. Maybe I can illustrate that for you at a later date. But for Keyboard Kommandos, I have not seen them nearly as much as you have. Can you tell me a little about their defense?
I actually haven't even seen them play. I have not had the good fortune to cast them, so
we're gonna learn some things today.
Yeah. I think this is gonna be educational for a lot of us. I think this is gonna put Keyboard Kommandos on the map. But just looking at their roster, I mean, players like AGM are known for being pretty good at shooting. And being super accurate with rifles. So Perfectionvore, as you said, is a team that really relies heavily on their aim. But Keyboard Kommandos also, really good with their aim. But if they have a little more of a team element and can work off each other really well, that might be a bad matchup for Perfectionvore. And so far it seems so. But the firepower difference makes it not so clear yet. I think this gun round is going to be very, very telling.
Let me just point out the fact that Perfectionvore has yet to get a kill. So that means the CTs are loaded, they are healthy, they haven't had to rebuy armor in a sense that would damage their economy. They're as good as you could possibly be at this point in the game. We have an op look, a single op look for Perfectionvore. Edwin, he of the reversed name, is going to be moving toward where? It looks like he's going to take that op and try to pick the squeaky. I like this move. It's a bit dangerous because it's a bit unwieldy inside of such a small, close-quartered situation, but if he gets it, he gets it. So, what have we learned about keyboard commandos? Well, I'm remiss to open up this map in case we miss any action here, but it's a double inner, one mini to support outer, one dedicated outer, one ramp look. And how often do you see these days a single ramp? That's rare. You have a support player, yeah, in heaven, but that's still a little bit of a run to get to help.
Definitely, it is pretty gutsy. It seems like most teams, if they want to come, a little close to the single ramp, they'll play a guy, dedicated ramp, and they'll have a player playing in the CTJ, so he can be there right off the bat if it's some kind of quick take.
Oh my
if
lord!
He needs to rotate
How
away.
did Vico get so far behind everybody? He's got the entry for his team. He's gonna say, "Everybody, follow me. Take the conga line down. We've got the bomb site." I cut you off. Would you like to continue?
Honestly, it was Vico that really cut me off. I don't even know where that flank came from. I didn't see him get lower. I don't know how he did it, but that's pretty sick, or pretty slick play. I mean, and sick now that I think about it, play. And if that's what Perfectionvore can bring to the table, then even if Keyboard Commandos can, shoot on the same caliber, then maybe Perfectionvore has an answer. And I said this round would be telling. I think the fact that Perfectionvore picked it up pretty handily might mean that, Keyboard Commandos isn't exactly going to cruise their way to an easy CT side.
Not at all. One round is what you need for Perfectionvore to stop that cash flow from the counter-terrorists. Your spread on this map, to me, in CSGO, feels like a 9-6. Are we agreed, maybe?
Definitely. I mean, 9-6 is kind of the minimum you want on the CT side. I mean, really, to be secure in your CT side, I mean, you would really want to tee off, 10-5, 11-4, that range. 9-6 is passable, but you need to have a solid T-side to follow that up.
Expect Perfectionvore's playbook to look pretty good today. This is their map, after all, and they don't have this, have the notion of a map being... Oh, nice looking shot by AGM, who picks up Vico as he was trying to move behind the guise of smoke. Perfectionvore's playbook should be robust for Nuke, but robust for Perfectionvore is a bit different than other teams. Like I said, it's a bit vanilla. AGM misses a easy shot. He gets a second chance at it because Kinky was blind. I don't think if he could see, he would ever do that again. There's a headshot for Ruin, and he's used that position a couple times now. It's the exchange, perhaps for a trade. 3 versus 2. AGM, how do you say that name? Exis?
I was thinking about, I'll agree to Exis. I don't know what it's supposed to be, but that makes sense to me.
I think it's like, I wanted to say it was like a mixed up anagram for Zeus or something, but I don't know.
I don't think there's an X in Zeus, last I checked.
No, but you know how you could just get like
yeah,
really cute with that? Okay.
I think that's definitely a reach, but we'll go with X's for the sake of the cast. And just like that, Keyboard Commandos with really nice off play from AGM, countering the round of Perfectionvore and forcing them to save. So that was a really big round.
It was. Let's take a look at the money situation for the T's here. With it, one at 4-8, but so misaligned for the rest of the team that they can't afford to buy this round. They'll sit on it, and they'll probably go with a luxury pistol pick play, which is fine with them, but you're limited. You can't really fight the pick play outer with these sidearms, so you have to go ramp, you have to go hut, and you can't really delay. So we're going to charge in and go right after Ruin, who drops down and calls for help. The rotates are coming down from the upper bomb site to come to the secret or the vent. That charge is ill-advised when you have a M4A1 staring you down. And again, Ruin has been on fire. They've tested him, they're going after him, and he's holding his spot like a champion.
As is X's, supporting him from lower, and AGM cleaning up the last kill. I really thought if you're gonna have me bet $5 on what Perfectionvore was gonna do that round, I thought they were just gonna go straight out upper and take the fight to Keyboard Commandos. And really, that's something we haven't seen them do since that first round when it went so poorly. I mean, Perfectionvore, as you said, is pretty vanilla, but with vanilla play comes some intense rushes with good aim that Perfectionvore has. So I want to see them go upper again. if they can use their smokes and their nades that they now have to their advantage. It looks like that's what they're going to do.
Yeah.
I'm going to shut my mouth so you can talk about it.
Well, Kinky's going to support his teammate, shoot him in the back, and aid the kill of a teammate. And I think after all that blindness, it was a 2-1 trade. Ruin comes up over the top of the ladder, and they've got everybody pinned back in the lobbies. It looked, at the very minimum, to be a speed changeup. And for those of you who are not familiar with Perfectionvore, they do have a pretty good changeup game where they go from their ISO pick roll into a speed assault sort of 3-2-man split or something like that. And it got stopped cold. Totally cold. Now, Vico and Kinky have to figure things out.
Stopping that kind of rush cold, in my eyes, is actually a pretty big disadvantage. I mean, the odds are they're not going to win this round 4-on-2. They kind of, obviously not intentionally, let their teammates die out there in upper and really couldn't complete the take. I would rather see the player that just died, who has already slipped my mind, and Kinky just kind of, go for it in upper.
That was so clever. Did you see that?
Unfortunately, I didn't. I was flying around the map. That was bad of me, but
there was a flash out from the hut back to the lobby where last player was, and instead of the player flashing from the hut, peeking, a teammate, I think it was Solo Sups, slid out from the squeaky to take the shot, and it completely ruined that last tee.
Yeah, nice. Well, I mean, when you're stalling out in lobby for so long, I can't really expect anything else. I would rather see those two teammates kind of go out and not necessarily die with the rest of the team, but go out there, support the teammates that died. I mean, otherwise you're just going to get picked apart solo like they did that round.
Yeah, I think Vico and Vadi have AGM on the run. He's been wounded so badly by that initial PT50 shot, and they've had to drop back. Solo Subs eats a bunch too, down to 36, and the eco round starts off pretty well for Perfectionvore. Still, they haven't gotten anywhere, but little victories is where you need to start. Edwin's going to charge out into the site, and that CZ runs over Exus. He'll have a gun, and there'll be a player above him. It's actually the Heaven player, SWZ. He, with his howl, looks down on everybody.
Ooh, man, that was a nice shot by Kinky.
We missed it, unfortunately. Solo Subs trades out Kinky, 3 versus 2. It's already sort of a victory for the T's as they've started off really well, and Solo Subs is just so weak right now that I think Spangler just joined us.
That's exciting. I love having Spangler on our servers.
It means our technical problems have been already solved, whatever they may be.
Yes, the technical problems that we haven't even faced yet.
Alright, because we have a bit of a lull, just really quickly, take a look at the money situation here. If this eco happens, this puts Perfectionvore on even keel, but they've got so long, so far to work back into damaging the CT economy because of how healthy they are right now. There's no, oh my lord, Vadi just straight ran by a CT. And Solo Subs
punished for it, yeah.
Yep, exactly. The last one alive is Warpath, and he's got 10 seconds to hold on to an op. He will certainly. I like the play. Clearly a second ago they were trying to win the round, but now it's just a matter of let's hold on to this thing.
Definitely. I mean, I think that's the smart play. They do have enough money collectively to all buy up, but if you can save a gun and actually kill some CTs on your way out, it's just super important for your economy. He's going to do well. He'll have money down the line. The main thing that Perfectionvore needs to do is not only win a round, but win a round and then chain together a follow-up round. When they won that single round, they lost all their bonus money, and they got pretty much teed off on because they couldn't do anything about it. They were forced to play with pistols against a team that is not going to relent with their accuracy. So not only do they need to win this gun round, but if they want to bring this half back and not get absolutely shut down by keyboard commandos, they need to chain together a second one. That opening pick by AGM is not a good start for Perfectionvore.
No, but you know how easily the viewers were writing this keyboard commandos team off. They are looking phenomenal. I mean, being the underdog is motivation to practice, but these guys look amazing right now.
Yeah, I mean, to be honest, I didn't really know much of the roster before getting into this game, but as soon as I, recognized the name AGM, who is an awesome player, I believe played, at the professional level, at least for a short while, it's no surprise to me that he's playing with a real, oh man, what a tight shot.
That was a very, very small sliver, and Solo Subs is going to try to go for an aggro trade. He saw somebody drop down. He'll call for the retake to happen through the vent, and actually it's a secret player that comes running to assist. Then they're going to run back and take this back. The secondary lobby, we like to call it, is the ramp room. Warpath was waiting for the rotates. He caught SWZ and Solo Subs. Perfectionvore's got a good-looking round here, and that pop flash didn't really work for Vico at all, but it doesn't necessarily matter. 2 alive for the CTs, AGM and Exus. And it's a good-looking shot by AGM. Warpath is down. 2 versus 3 on the retake, and our CTs are trying to get here a little bit early. They know the bomb plant has happened. They did not see Edwin move back across to the hut, and they've identified him now. They really need to hit this off. They got him. 2 versus 1. Edwin is the last one. He's got no chance. He had it for a second. You could see that red flashing. Perfectionvore is just a little deflated now. Just a little sad because of how well that started.
Definitely. I mean, you know, I hate to say it, but that was a pretty big choke for Perfectionvore. They did a great job of, you know, getting that opening pick, or not. Actually, I guess it was not an opening pick. You know, the 4v5 opening ramp pick, and then they even tricked Keyboard Kommandos pretty badly. They, you know, ran straight as if they were going lower and doubled back, picking up 2 more kills, turning it into what, a 4-on-2. That's, you know, that's a very winnable round. I mean, they had the site all to themselves. They got in the positions they wanted to, and they couldn't stop the retake. They just lacked they didn't lack the firepower. They kind of just lacked the aim there. So Keyboard Kommandos really kind of putting on a clinic for Perfectionvore.
Man, Keyboard Kommandos, if you are in that TeamSpeak, in that mumble, you are ecstatic right now. Just unbelievably excited because of, oh, Ruin somehow knew that he was going to be hugging that left corner. Vati's down while he was waiting at the radio for that smoke to clear. That's a very, very poor way to start. There's the trade, though. Warpath has been so good at controlling this ramp, and like we said, they'll go to a spread ISO pick. They all have their favorite lanes that they work. Warpath is almost exclusively working the radio to ramp look, and he's been dominant when he's the entry man. But of course, Vati was the unfortunate recipient of that early headshot. And we'll have a bit of a lull in the action. Look how close Vico and that garage player are. Let's see this ramp. Let's pull up the overhead. The take is a split, and they're trying to fake a hot take, and that smoke doesn't sell anybody. It's not good enough to cover up anything. So by the time they make it to outer or ramp, everybody knows, and they're probably about to run into a trap.
Maybe. I don't know how Vico is so slippery. He gets lower every time going through secret, and they might be able to turn this into a pick on the ramp guy if there is one there. No, there's not. So yeah, they won't be able to get a pick on the ramp guy. They will be able to kind of control where they go from here. But the CTs are going to be rotating pretty much as a unit and, you know, getting ready for a strong 4-on-4 retake. I think that's the right play by the CTs.
The most,
you know, not giving up the ramp, but, you know, getting ready to do what they need to do.
The most important play was, before that bomb got planted, all the T's spread out into positions where they could cut off rotate. So they made, point blank off shot in the back. Exis has a brand new spine replacement surgery coming. That was much more composed than you'd see at a lower level team, because you would try to rush down, get that bomb plant in your excess of, you know, adrenaline rush. You would do that and not be ready, but they were clearly ready by the time the bomb was planted. That round, for the first time in a long time, Perfectionvore showed a lot of composure.
And good communication to go with it. Now, as I said before, Perfectionvore needed to win a gun round, which they have right here, but they need to chain it together. If they don't chain this round together, they're going to lose all their bonus money that they had accrued. And they're just going to be pretty much money hurt. I mean, players
AGM's right in the face of Vico. He had the drop on him and still lost the battle. The power of the AK and its stopping power is sometimes just magnificent. Kinky's made it all the way to the garage, but Ruin is surely calling out to his teammate, I see one, big garage, hold off, I'm going to try to hit this shot. Flashing him across. He was waiting, good-looking kill. And Edwin in the squeaky with that door open has it. There's a trade attempt by Exis. I don't know if he knows how close somebody is. It doesn't matter. He reflexes and Vati's down. 1 versus 3. Exis is still healthy enough to get one more kill, but now it's Op versus USP. Not going to happen. 8-3. Pvor finally putting up a couple rounds in a row, and does that have economic implications? It's beginning to. Exis is in excess of $8,000, and he needs to take himself down a peg before they're really afraid of any ecos. Oh, they're going to eco.
Absolutely, and Perfectionvore, I mean, if I had to use a word to describe their play right now, is they're making some pretty slick moves now. Just the way they're moving and positioning themselves, they're catching the individual Keyboard Kommandos players off guard pretty much, you know, every engagement that they come out on top of. I mean, right there, Edwin played that beautifully, you know, forced the CT to think he was going lower and just, you know, quickly just stopped, dropped back, got the easy frag like it was nothing. And the way Vico is working his way outside and lower, they just keep slipping through the fingers of Keyboard Kommandos. And if they can keep that up, then they can, you know, bring this game close together. But they have to, wow,
Oh.
man, see? How did Vico even get there without AGM seeing him or doing anything about it?
Vico is a spider. A literal, you know, weasel just hiding in places that you'd never expect. For the two ecoed remaining CT solo steps and SWZ, they'll retreat to the ramp. And most importantly, in rounds on Nuke, it's kind of hard to illustrate how you play the ISO pick attack, the ISO pick offense, but they're doing it so well. They hit a shot, and as soon as they hit the shot, they're either waiting or moving into the slot where that player was and waiting for that rotate to come over to pick up that double, that triple, and cascade a bunch of kills across the map. They're looking really good. They're executing their offense because early on, if you didn't notice, they were doing split takes. Split take speed plays, you know, maybe they delay somewhere, but then they try to rush into upper, rush into ramp, and they got mowed down because Keyboard Kommandos is too good for that. Now they're running their pick offense, and this is really wearing on Keyboard Kommandos.
Definitely, and it seems like their shot is just, you know, coming together. I wouldn't say that they weren't warmed up in the first few rounds, but it seems like they're kind of starting to figure Keyboard Kommandos out because, you know, 3 rounds ago, it looks like maybe they haven't figured out AGM yet, but, you know, 3 rounds ago, I would say that Keyboard Kommandos absolutely has Perfectionvore's number, and, you know, they were on track for, you know, like a 12-3, an 11-4, something like that, but not so much anymore.
A failed pop flash there is going to get solo subs kill as Kinky walks right around the box, trades him, looks up to heaven, flicks up, and almost had that kill. Ruin is just a little bit too fast. 8-4, your current scoreline, and most importantly for this one, it builds on the remainder of the half. Surely the team that wins this round, if you take a look at the cash right here, is going to string together a nice little run of rounds. CTs because of their CT side advantage, and the Ts because of how much cash they have and how much cash flow they can restrict from the CTs. So this round is surprisingly critical, and Vico knows it.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see if Vico...
Oh, no.
Oh, yeah, he's about to get shot. Oh, wow, Ruin revealed himself, but it didn't matter. Vico still gets taken down there.
9-4.
As you said before the game, I mean, you didn't say Keyboard Kommandos needs 9 specifically, but you said the ideal scoreline for a not ideal, but the minimum scoreline a CT side wants is 9-6, and Keyboard Kommandos has hit that mark, that 9-round mark. So even if they do botch these next 2 rounds, which I don't even think they necessarily will, you got to imagine they're at least comfortable with where they are.
It looks like we have another change up here. We're going to have a speed play to outer, and these counter flashes are forcing Vico to drop off of his support. It may give the outer player, the number 1 man right here, just a little bit of time to peek up from the secret. Now, does he take that bait? Does he make the play? He's going to have a chance, and he whiffs. He whiffs 6 shots directly to the left of Vico. Now he knows he has to drop back, and there's no way he can make the play now, not without getting a solid 1 tap for breakfast. There's a good-looking kill. Ruin has a nice little burst over the top of the headshot box of the ramp, and Exus will continue to fight at the huts versus Edwin. If you're down a man, and your particular player that you're looking for was one of your 2 ramp entry experts, Warpath, of course, being a little bit better at it than Vati this game, that's not exactly how you want to begin, because a lot of the success that Perfectionvore had has come through the squeaky and through the ramp room. There's Kinky on the wide flank. I think he can see your gun. Warpath gets turned on. Excuse me? The reflexes and the composure by Ruin. Only 2 alive for Perfectionvore. And Edwin came crouching out. I don't think he was ready to scope yet because that angle was so obtuse and strange. Keyboard Kommandos has 10, and presumably everybody buys this last round.
Yeah, gotta buy it. It's the last round. I mean, there's no reason to save any money, and all these players are veteran enough to know that no one's going to be saving.
This is a good-looking half. For both teams, really. It's a good-looking half.
Yeah, it's, I honestly thought Perfectionvore would kind of come out swinging a little bit more. I wouldn't say I'm underwhelmed.
Oh, they're trying. Keyboard Kommandos is doing a great job.
Right. I wouldn't say I'm disappointed in Perfectionvore only getting 4 or potentially 5 rounds, but I really thought they would be in the 6 or 7 range. They kind of found their stride a little bit too late in this half, but it doesn't mean that they won't have it on their CT side, which also seemed pretty airtight last time we saw them play it.
That nade would have done him in. AGM waits, and he's smoked out, so he'll have to ask for a teammate. Oh, Ruin has been so good. Vati's just been struggling a little bit at the ramp, but every shot of his has been so crisp, and he only gets traded out after Vati gives up the information. He's on the ramp. He's at the headshot box. He's at the hell entrance. He's been really, really good, and you know what? So is Warpath, but 1-on-5, I don't necessarily see it happening. Let's see how this half closes out. There's your attempt. No good. Keyboard Kommandos leads 11-4 on Perfectionvore's selection of DE Nuke. You're watching CEVO TV. Of course, the man across from me is the infamous Later.
Yeah, I mean, when it comes to picking maps, you got to assume that the team that picks the map should win the map. I mean, ultimately, obviously, the better team is going to win pretty much no matter what. But Perfectionvore was confident in their map selection, based on how they played last time and how there wasn't really much of a debate. When I asked them to pick maps, they nuke. That was it, right off the top. They seemed to like the map. And if they don't pick up this pistol round on CT's side,
the problem
is that liking it as much.
The problem is that Perfectionvore's like of Nuke is well advertised. People are practicing this if you want to counter strat Perfectionvore, because if you thought about it, that's exactly what's going to happen. Keyboard Kommandos is on a full-on aggro tear, chasing Body back to CT. He'll shoot through that smoke and pick up Exus, and the trades are happening so fast. Think on this for a second as you see these kills exchange back and forth, how critical this pistol round is. If you only have 4 rounds as a T, you need this. Perfectionvore needs this desperately. Warpath comes up over the top. Here's the bomb planter moving on underneath him, picks him up with a P2000 kill. Only one left inside of the hut. That's AGM, who's been good, but perhaps not good enough to stop 3 CTs and the firing squad. That'll be the defuse, and that'll be 11-5. Maybe it'll end up being 11-7.
Perfectionvore had the player advantage there, as they were doing the retake, but I really thought Keyboard Kommandos might have been able to hold them off just by having the map control. I mean, they, as I said, it was the picks were 3-2, but they got into the upper site, pretty uncontested and got the plan off. At the very least, I think we're going to see an early buy out of Keyboard Kommandos.
Certainly could, and of course with the bomb plants, they have the license to. I think they're going to go with another speed play here. I would like to see them slow it up because the CZs can be so strong, but oh well. AGM and solo subs through the door, a jumping CZ kill and a follow-up by AGM. Kinky's dropped it. They'll continue this party train down to the lower bomb site. We have already one in the vent, and if Edwin steps out, he's almost certainly got a kill, unless that M4A1 is used perfectly, like that. It's going to be 4 versus 2, and it's going to be tough to get this done. And if Vati comes out right now, he's going to get shot in the side. Oh, or if he just pre-fires, like, oh my god, 1-on-1! Ruin has been good, and he's got Vati's number all day, but not that time. Vati clutches and begins the defuse in the smoke. Literally, that has to be such catharsis. That guy has dominated me all day. Please let me kill him.
yeah. I mean, that was the revenge that Perfectionvore was I guess looking for. And for a second there, I would say that Keyboard Kommandos, not only had the player advantage going into the lower site, but they also had the firepower advantage picking up 2 rifles from ramp. So, once again, that was another round that I thought they were capable of taking, but the retake from Perfectionvore being too strong. Perfectionvore kind of came out pretty beat up that round. Only 1 player survived, and Keyboard Kommandos has a lot of money in the bank. So we're seeing a full buyout from Keyboard Kommandos versus an almost full buyout for Perfectionvore. If Keyboard Kommandos is going to catch Perfectionvore off guard, this is the round for them to do it.
Look at how much speed Keyboard Kommandos is employing. In each and every one of their takes, they travel together, they move fast, they get to places with a purpose, and they do it in a hurry. I think a lot of it has to do with the fact that they've assessed their personnel situation here, and Vico's aiming far too low, so that's going to get him killed in a second if he doesn't think to aim up for the head. The thing about this is, I think intrinsically, Keyboard Kommandos sort of knows that Perfectionvore has really strong fraggers, so they travel together in order to trade together.
Definitely. This is the kind of offense that I actually thought Perfectionvore was going to employ themselves.
Pure speed? All speed all the time?
Yeah, speed and just accuracy.
Well, 5 alive for the T's. They haven't taken the site yet. Well, they are attempting to, but that kill from Vico, that stealthy work up by the silo is going to get him and net him a couple of kills. So 2 versus 5, and 2 versus 4, and this one turned around really quickly. Not 2 versus 3. These teams are much more evenly matched than I had initially given them credit for.
I completely agree. I mean, one thing Luca and I talked about, or Misled for the viewers out there, talked about during our last cast as Warpath cleans up the last kill on AGM. One thing we talked about is how Perfectionvore really hadn't been tested in our eyes yet. I mean, their perfect record during the regular season seemed to indicate that, and the fact that they, thus far in the playoffs, haven't even dropped a map to another team shows that, really they haven't been in deep waters yet, like they're in deep waters now with Keyboard Kommandos. I don't even think I've seen a team, take a lead.
Okay, it was a left click. Vico's at 87, flashed out of the spawn though.
Okay, it's better team damage than matchmaking, I'm pretty sure.
Oh yeah.
If that's any consolation.
We have another speed play here, going to ramp, and it's going to be a mowdown. A mowdown showdown. That nade's going to do tons of damage! One touchdown, and everyone left devastated by the frag and the fragmentation. Another spray down. Kinky looks for the change-up, the sidearm change-up. He doesn't get it. Vico comes to help. It's going to be 11-8. Perfectionvore is building on it, and Keyboard Kommandos, they've yet to show too much creativity with their offense. I'm damned sure that we're about to see something other than speed this play.
I'm gonna go the other way. I would be surprised if we don't see them go straight into Opposition. They both have the spawn for it, and all their fast takes have been, somewhat successful. Oh, they're not going in. But they've been somewhat successful with their fast takes. I mean, they've been losing on the retake of pretty much every round, except for that last round where they didn't really get much traction on ramp.
Yeah,
they're going.
There's a gap. There's a gap in this smoke. Edwin's thinking that somebody's on top of the mini, comes out to spray him, and he misses a perfect opportunity. He had the drop on AGM, but his AK picks up the kill, and everyone makes their way down to lower. Now let's slow up right outside the door. They're not going to make the same mistake and walk through this smoke or out the double doors. It's just a matter of who wants to be that guy who makes the shot. Vico's on the steps. Solo Sups is down. He drops down and calls for the rotate and the help from his teammates, and Perfectionvore is not rotating toward him. They're content to take it slow because they think it's a flank, but I think the numbers show that you should probably rotate down, team.
Well, yeah, only one player who was Solo Zups actually, peeked through that smoke and was seen by the CTs. So while they might have heard some other Ts that are now killing. Oh my God, they dropped the bomb.
Exactly.
That's, for lack of a better term, kind of amateur.
Oh man, that is really tough to manage. Your entry fragger is supported by so many teammates, you think that he's perfectly fine, and then suddenly he loses his handles. 2 versus 1. Warpath is versus AGM and Ruin, and they have very little health between the two of them, so they're going to play very cagey, very boxy when they plant this bomb and begin to hide. They need to fight 2-on-1, and they can't fight that 1-on-1 with Warpath right now because he is too healthy. He'll move up toward that back silo in AGM's trap, so it's going to be a kite fight. Warpath only takes about 35 damage. Pod flash up, and up the top he goes. He's guessed incorrectly. He thinks the player's behind the back of the silo. He's not actually there. We know that Ruin is right next to him. What a round for Keyboard Kommandos. Like we said, they were going to, like you said, not me. Like you said, they were going to stick with their game plan. They were going to go with speed. They stopped. They learned something after putting their hands on the stove and getting burned, and then they gathered themselves. I am impressed. I am duly impressed.
Definitely. It seems like the speed right out of the gate, helps them get the map position they need. They was just, getting in the right positions and not taking the sites too fast, because, if they take it too fast, as you said before, like for Perfectionvore, is they'll be out of position. They won't be in good position to get, or for the retake. So, they're using the speed to get to where they need to get, and, last round they kind of learned that they can slow it down at that point. They don't need to go, 0 to 80 instead of 0 to 60. And, so far, so good. It's a 4-on-4, about as good as you can ask for as, to open a round on the T side.
Keyboard Kommandos is really testing Perfectionvore's ability to manage their rotates to lower. That bomb gets dropped, they'll be able to pick it up again, and it looks like they have stood that test quite well. Only one alive for Keyboard Kommandos. It's just Solo Sups by himself, looking to see if he can pick up Vico on the... Oh, you turned the roll at the wrong time! 12-9.
This is about as, even as a game as we really could have asked for. It looks like Keyboard Kommandos is going to be saving this round, so, Perfectionvore still working to slowly but surely narrow the score gap. And, I wouldn't be surprised if we see them, tie it up or bring it close to tying. But really, I think Keyboard Kommandos has the right formula for beating Perfectionvore. They just need to kind of enact it to a T. They need to get those opening picks, but the way they're moving, I like it. It's been pretty difficult for Perfectionvore, but not difficult enough for Warpath to not shoot them all down with that.
If you run in a straight line at a Scar, no matter who's wielding it, let alone Warpath, it's not going to be a good time. 12 to 10. Not a good time at all. You know what I really liked is that Warpath waited for his team to give him that second pop flash because they flicked the first one. They didn't anticipate the second one. He didn't start shooting the Scar until a bunch of them loaded up in the room. It was a really, really good looking series of kills.
Yeah, a lot of teams like to throw smokes on ramp right off the bat to kind of hold off the rushing Ts. But if you have a massive firepower advantage and you can kind of bait them into that area, you know, it's like bringing lambs to slaughter. You can kind of just pick them all off real quickly instead of, you know, dissuading them from peeking.
Why you gotta pick on the lambs?
Sorry, I mean, we can choose another animal. Okay. I didn't want to choose. I was just choosing a kosher animal.
Like
that's the only ones I bring
doves?
to. Do people slaughter doves?
I don't know, like the sacrificial doves. Like that's an old Hebrew thing, right?
I don't know.
I'm almost certain of it. There was a thing at Solomon's Temple. Like that was a thing.
Okay, I buy it.
All right. You like that knowledge drop? That was sweet.
Yeah, right. I mean, you kind of embarrassed me right there. I feel like I got to know my heritage there.
A passive look intended to catch a bunch of pushing CTs if they intended to push, but Perfectionvore has been playing it very vanilla up until this point. Oh god! Oh my lord! What? How? AGM flicked him, hit him through the box, and he stared at his own kill, being like, "I can't believe that just worked. I cannot even." Solo Sub's shoulder baits Vati. He gives it away with his tracers, comes back out for the kill, and then traded by Edwin, and then traded by AGM, and this one looks like a T-sided win. Almost. If we can just get Warpath down, he is a force, and he's still alive until he drops the Scar, 13 to 10.
Perfectionvore does have money in the bank, but they are kind of have a very large distribution. Yeah, I mean, Vati only has $1,900, but the richest player has or had as much as $5,500. They are going to be buying up as, you know, they are kind of reaching desperation mode, but, you know, they have a player without a rifle who, you know, only has a CZ. I'm not sure if someone else.
God, they stabbed him again.
Troll fast. Was it Vico who got knifed the first time?
I think so.
I would be. I'm sure he hates his teammates right now.
God, that idle slashing that you do is just... Oh, Edwin is in the smoke. He is about to crawl through it. Our number 7 sees and misses. He just misses his golden opportunity. Could have turned that play around. Could have had a huge flank. And now, Keyboard Kommandos, after this round, could be 14 to 10. Bomb gets planted. Here comes the retake team 2 from the ramp, and that molly's gonna land right at somebody's feet. Not a fun time. That retake by Kinky is by himself, unsupported by his teammate, and surely at this level, that's not gonna cut it. 14 to 10 like we called it. Let's take a look at the cash real quick. The CTs got nada, like nothing.
They really committed to that last round. If they, and I kind of agree with it, if they had any chance to bring the game back and, you know, win from the CT side, they had to win that round, that last round, you know, when they were faced with it. But, you know, unfortunately, they're forced to save. I think Keyboard Kommandos is about to cruise their way to a map 1 on Perfectionvore's map pick.
And, yeah, and their map pick, that is critical. And they, of course, are the underdogs in this scenario, by literal seeding and by a straw poll.
Yeah, I mean, they're the underdog, as you said, in the truest sense, and they have such an uphill battle to climb. Not only do they have to win one best of 3, but they have to win a second one because they came from the lower bracket. And, you know, after this game, I think I need to go to the bathroom. I think we're going to be in for the long haul here. I wouldn't be surprised if we're, you know, if Keyboard Kommandos is playing like this, I think we're going to see a second best of 3.
Getting a word from our producers to not mention the fact that casters use bathrooms.
Because, well, you know, I used to live in one for so long.
We're like women. We don't ever use the bathroom.
Well, I'm going number 1, not number 2.
Well, okay. Okay. All right. What the hell are we talking about? Keyboard Kommandos is soaring right now. They feel great. They've got 1 point to go, and at the very least, they've tied up and forced overtime. But surely it won't come to that, will it? Perfectionvore will need the epic sort of comeback to tie this one up. Let's take a look at our opening. Go ahead.
Yeah, I was gonna say, realistically, winning 5 rounds on CT's side isn't, you know, that much of a comeback. It is certainly doable, but, you know, they kind of ran out of all their lifelines. You know, they had a few strikes where they had some opportunities where it's like, oh, you know, we can lose this one and we just got to win the next one. But they unfortunately haven't been able to win the next one and then the next one. And they kind of worked their way in a rut. And this round, they've already had a man disadvantage. I think this is Keyboard Kommandos' map.
I can tell you right now that Keyboard Kommandos has, first of all, Exus has just saved his teammate. That was awesome. And Keyboard Kommandos has done their homework. Like, really, really done their homework. There's no team out there that will go outer as many times. Oh, time for clutch. Ruin 1-on-2. Has won the diffuser, and if he hears that diffuse now, he'll know the location of the next one. There it is. All that's left to do is but to do and die. Looks down, and Kinky gets tagged, and that one might do it for him. That one may... Oh, wow. An unprompted peek. Inadvisable. It's going to be 15-11. Let me continue the thought here.
Right.
Keyboard Kommandos has done their homework. There's no team that will go outer with Wall of Smoke as many times as Keyboard Kommandos has done and make it all the way to the main grand final. So what that tells me is that they've opened up Perfectionvore's playbook. They've gone through all their demos, and they realize that there's probably some weakness that they found at their secret, in their back vents area, and they've exploited it to a T, and look at where they are now.
Well, for a long time, it seemed like Perfectionvore's main strategy, if you can even call it strategy, is just, being better than the other team, which, has carried them all the way to these grand finals. But, I mean, I don't know. I was taking a look before, and I saw that Keyboard Kommandos had actually played Perfectionvore in the regular season, and Perfectionvore beat them pretty handily, 16-7. So I think they might be just underestimating how good Keyboard Kommandos is. And, Keyboard Kommandos just showing why they are also in the main grand finals.
Well, that shock treatment is only going to work for one map. Now Perfectionvore is fully awake, and they realize how ridiculously prepared Keyboard Kommandos was today. Now they're pushing. Now this looks like Perfectionvore playing aggro, playing fast and angry. Because really, that's what they need to do. 4 versus 3. Vico's down on one side, and Solo Subs and Ruin on the other. The high executioner, Kinky on top of the vent. There's the trade. AGM gets tagged in response. He's got 4 HP, and Exus is the bomb carrier. So this is not looking great for the T's, but they've, of course, got some breathing room to work with. I don't... Did you really...
I was going to say, I was like, wow, Kinky, great shot. But then I realized that was not Kinky. Kinky with the assist.
Did you really just do that?
TK. I mean, look, I'm going to be honest. It was a great shot. Are we going to deny that it was a great shot?
Oh, it was a fantastic shot. The nerves got to him. He's like, we have to win this round. I got to make good shots, but he just sent himself back into Ecoland. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and not only did they send himself back into Ecoland, but he also killed and took money away from their top fragger. And admittedly, he's not their top fragger by very much, but, AGM is pulling more than his weight, and you wouldn't want to shoot him in the face.
No, it looks like we have a lobby hold with a ramp sort of look. Can't identify what it is that we're trying to do, except for spam through walls and try to pick up some early damage, an easy kill, maybe, but Perfectionvore's not standing in a likely position. I think Edwin knows. It's about to come down to a shoulder peek fight, and Exus wins it after getting bursted down first. That's an unlikely thing, and a very skillful thing that he's able to accomplish. Vico thinks that somebody's going to come running through, so he comes spraying through, and Keyboard Kommandos smartly does not run right into his bullets. It's tense. These moments are tense. Exus knows that somebody likes to play above him. He's going to, just barely lose that battle. He'll call out to his teammates that guy is lit. That guy is lit. One, he doesn't know that Kinky's still there. Kinky's still on the site, and they haven't done their counting, I think. Oh, it looks like...
they did damage to Kinky, and they knew they didn't take him down right there because no one got the assist. So I think they might have an idea that someone is there. It's just who and where.
He's in the back of the site. Kinky is hidden. There's head showing, and he gets flicked. SWZ with a nice-looking fast movement and picks up Vico as he comes back up through the vent. So this one may be all wrapped up unless we see some true heroism from Warpath. It's not going to happen.